Hi guys, I'm back. 30-day journey. So over the next 30 days I've decided to, let's rewind a little bit. Finished the Ironman in Lanzarote, the 70.3. The intention this year was to do the full distance Ironman, the 25-year anniversary, which I did in May out in Lanzarote, and then to do the 70.3 later in the year, have the rest of this year off, and then go into the ultra running world community going into 2017. Always something that I'd been interested in. With that being said, and as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, the end of the 70.3, the intention was to sell all of the kit and then to reinvest it into another journey. Well, all my kit has gone. I saw a good opportunity to invest in a mountain bike. I live on the Downs. If you looked at any of my previous videos, I did all of my running for my previous training over the South Downs way, on the beach and various other bits and various other places around me. So I'm incredibly fortunate to live in the location that I do and have the natural resources available to me. So rather than just running or keeping saving my legs for the program that starts in January, what I decided to do was to invest some of that money that I got as a result of selling all of my kit and invest it in a mountain bike. I haven't been on a mountain bike for probably a good 10 years, and even then I think it was probably only once or twice within a 3-4 year period. Prior to that, as a child, I used to spend all my time over the Downs hacking over all of the bridleways literally that are on my doorstep. So what I decided to do, invest some of that money in a mountain bike and commit to a 30-day program which I've called 30 Days to Riding Nowhere. And the reason I've done that is because it's very easy, and what I found is it's very easy to finish a big event and then go down, take your health, take your fitness for granted, and that became very apparent earlier on, as you see in the video, or have already seen, depending on how I edit today. But what actually happened was, as soon as I finished my 70.3 journey, I knew there was going to be a lull period before Christmas. I gave myself permission. I was overseas a couple of times working, so I gave myself permission to have that time off, to allow the body to recover, to get back into a state of recovery, back into a state of normality. I subscribed to a coaching platform, coaching program, which required my attention at least 20 hours a week, so I've committed to that. That's coming to the end now. So I've freed up the time. When I'm not working with clients, I'm not working on the businesses, I'm not spending time with the family, I do still have an element of quality time which I can invest into something. So saw the opportunity to buy the mountain bike. I bought the mountain bike. I already have a lot of the other apparel that I don't really that is surplus, that wouldn't be worth selling. So I'm going to do this 30 days. It does take me over the festive period, so that's going to be interesting. My diet isn't going to be as rigid as it was for the Ironman. I'm still going to enjoy the occasional glass of red wine. I'm still going to have a homemade pizza. I'm still going to have all of the things that I want to have. I am going to be toning it down. On that note, since finishing and completing the 70.3, I've actually put 10 kilos back on as a result of not doing that endurance training. So it's been really interesting to see that shift in my body shape, retaining some fat. There's science behind that. I'm not going to go into this on this video because I'm out of that shock phase of training, that intense training that I was going through. So 30 days. Today was my first ride, first time on my mountain bike. I built the bike, all of the bits and pieces, put the pedals on yesterday, added the cleats to the shoes yesterday, so all of that's been done. I'm going to do some reviews on the kit choices that I've made. The bike that I chose was solely an opportunistic purchase. It was it was brand new. A guy was selling it. It's a 29. It fitted a number of the requirements that I wanted, so that's that. There wasn't actually a conscious choice in that buying process. It was very much an opportunity and get it, as opposed to some of the other choices that I've made with my other kit. So yeah, today was a real eye-opener. Today highlighted how different riding on road on the turbo trainer is in comparison, despite riding today 90% of the routes that you've seen in other videos. I went out with a guy called Stu, who is an experienced rider. Thanks to him, really showed me the ropes, and rebuilding that confidence on the bike. As you see in the video, I'm incredibly slow in comparison to where he's working at. Even then, he's probably hitting only 30% of his abilities. So today, going out on the bike was very much about learning. We covered, I think it was 25 kilometers in less than an hour 40. So it was good. It's really interesting. The battery on the camera ran out again today. Just reminding myself of all of the processes that I need to take into consideration. Another water bottle, probably would have taken a banana with me, should I have given it a little bit more thought. Overall happy. Legs burning, came back. I've got work this afternoon. Every day isn't going to be 25 kilometers. I'm going to try and get out for at least an hour every day and see what happens, but it's going to be interesting. It's very cold outside. It's in the sub-zero category. There's ice all over the paths. I don't think it's going to be getting any warmer during the festive period. Not sure how I'm going to deliver or edit these videos. There might be really short videos, there might be long. Really haven't got to that stage yet. Just wanted to get this video together, let you know that I'm doing another very quick 30-day journey. As you can see, as always, incredibly scruffy. My hair's a mess. I don't do my hair. I'm unshaven, and I'm just about to crack on with some work. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the 30 days to riding nowhere. It's going to evolve organically. I haven't set out what I intend to do. There's no storyboard of how these days are going to work. It's going to be very much off the cuff, see what comes out, explore the local habitat, the local countryside, enjoy some time on the bike over the next 30 days. And that is going to be the key focus. Getting back to nature, getting back to self, clearing the mind, and really adjusting myself ready for 2017. So enjoy the journey. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to leave a comment and subscribe. And if you want to take advantage of the 7-day mindset series, head over to the website where I'm going to be giving a number of useful tools and techniques that are going to help you mentally and mindfully. There is a free book on there as well, so if you fancy having a look or seeing mentally how you can improve, rather than just watching these videos and seeing how the delivery of what or the message that I'm providing to you. Now just head over to the website, download the book, it's free on there, and it will be sent to you immediately within the email. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you tomorrow. Hi guys, Benjamin here. I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to invest here today. This is a pre-recorded message, but you'll understand why in a moment. But before I carry on, I want you to quickly grab a pen and paper. And the reason I say this now is because it's likely that you will have some thoughts that you will need to take action on. You see, I want to show you several formulas that have worked with my clients. So go ahead now, grab a pen and paper, and I will wait. So imagine this scenario very quickly. What if you were suddenly to increase your performance by 10%? What if, by committing to just a few changes and were to invest in yourself, you could have exactly what you want? What if you started to realize your dreams, your goals, and your outcomes? Now, I know this sounds like a stretch, even a sales pitch, even crazy to imagine that this could be your reality. But with all that being said, and any apprehension that you have, some of my clients used to think like this also. But this is where you can give yourself permission to change. Over the last 14 years, not all of that time, but the majority of it, I've been involved with some of the most successful athletes in the world. I've worked with royalty and still to this date retained by some of the top athlete agents and clubs because of my no-nonsense approach to behavioural change and the ability to cut through all of the junk that many specialists seem to focus on. I'm also referred to as the athlete's secret weapon. And this isn't because I'm able to deploy some unknown secret, but again, because I can use my extensive knowledge to understand what is exactly happening with you right now. I've helped people overcome their fears, come back from injury stronger, and most importantly, increase their internal belief about their ability to achieve. Does any of this ring true with you? I've also helped them improve in other aspects of their life, from relationship issues, financial concerns, and increase their ability to break through those beliefs that have continued to question their ability to reach to the next level. And right now, I'm going to share with you some of the exact techniques that have helped them to do so. So first things first, let's cut through the mustard. Everybody knows what they need to do. That's right. Right now, you know exactly what you need to change or relinquish in order to move forward. In fact, I'm guessing that it's no surprise that perhaps you've even been thinking about it for a long time now and haven't done anything about it despite the knowing. Well, you're not alone. In fact, what you've encountered is why many people fail, from all walks of life. They never actually achieve what they want and live for 30, 40, 50 years without ever doing anything about it. Living and working to service someone else's vision of the world, working or perhaps even pursuing something that isn't in true alignment to their legacy statement. You see, it's the 1%ers that take action, and it's the reason why you are here, listening to me. You see, the perception is that there's some elite special club somewhere that have all the answers and secrets to the success. But the truth is, there isn't any secret clubs. There aren't any secrets that are going to get you to where you want faster than one thing. You see, you have to follow an order. In fact, it's likely that you're following this process but got things muddled up. You see, for most, it's not about learning something new. It's about understanding what they already have and reorganizing it to make perfect sense. It's obvious that you have a skill, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this. You've got a talent and you want to improve. You see, the misconception is that for a lot of athletes, they can muscle their way through the sport. And as a triathlete for Ironman distances, I know that this isn't the case. You see, I've been 7% body fat and 14 stone, which is about 88 kilos or about 195 pounds to those that work in those metrics, but also been 74 kilos and 15% body fat, and finished one of the hardest endurance events on the planet within just 100 days of training. The amount of muscle that you have or even the skill to a certain aspect is not going to guarantee your success. When your body's depleted and you fatigued every muscle of energy, it comes down to the ability to rationalize and control the internal dialogue. It comes down to the ability to think clearly and to use the mind to assist rather than resist. Assist rather than resist. Of course, not all athletes will fatigue through muscles, but they will still require an internal dialogue that supports a few of those moments of peak power. An Olympic high jumper, sprinter, endurance athletes and snooker players, they are all the same. I'm sure if you've been in the industry for long enough, you would have seen some of the most promising athletes in your own career fall because of one thing: their mindset. Their mind wasn't in it. Who did you think about then? So here's a practical tip for you to use. Tip 1. A pattern interrupt. This is the most common technique used within the NLP community. In fact, it's something that I've been using for years without even knowing it. For most, habits are usually useful. Autopilot means our brains have become so efficient at doing something that we can tune out our conscious mind. We get dressed, drive, walk, clean our teeth, in ways of which don't need much mental attention. If I ask you quickly to remember the brand of your toothpaste that you used this morning, perhaps even how it felt in your mouth, whether it was minty or fresh, you'll be able to have a moment of clarity. Perhaps your mouth, even with me mentioning it, if you take your awareness there now, will even start to water as you imagine the flavour in your mouth. But patterns can be a downfall too. We can eat mindlessly and therefore overeat. We can tune out important people and not hear important messages. We can exercise without paying attention and damage bits of our bodies that we hadn't given much thought to. A pattern can be interrupted by any unexpected or sudden movement or response. For example, have you ever messed up someone's story by asking a question, for instance, and they can't remember where they were or where they got to in the story? They experience a momentary confusion and sometimes even amnesia. Now, if this has happened to you, don't worry, you're perfectly normal. Have you ever started to do something and after being interrupted can't remember what it was? This usually happens to me when I go upstairs to find my house keys. I come back downstairs moments later without them in hand. This confusion state can make you open to suggestion. We are willing to trade our uncomfortable state for another one's clarity. I mean, why are you even here listening to this audio? What was your intention the second before you started listening to my voice? The recommendation, therefore, would be, when you're finding yourself following a process that isn't supportive to the person that you want to be, for example, the reasons why you're here right now, do something that will interrupt that past strategy. Now, you may think that this is being overly simplistic, but when you find yourself following a past strategy, one that hasn't serviced you in the past, commit to making the change happen right there and then and do what it takes. The second tip for you right now is one that is unique to my program, and that is to understand a parallel life. Now, that's the one that you reflect to when times get tough, the one of what ifs. You know that place. Many people go to this place when they start to reflect, perhaps reflecting on what they could have done if they'd taken another path, another relationship, another career choice. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to think about the why. What does that place offer you? Then think about why you are going to that place in the first instance. Is it because you're unfulfilled and that parallel is your guidance, a reminder perhaps, even a sign? Focus for a minute. Think about where you go mentally when things aren't going right. Who do you see? What do you feel? And why does that place offer support? Now, what happens when you remove that parallel and start to implement that feeling, that emotion, and that present action into your daily strategy? Meaning that you always took the action needed within the present moment that best represented the future version of self. I'm not going into legacy planning here as it's included within the 7-Day Mindset series. But in a nutshell, if you acted in alignment and took the choice in the present moment, always to the future version of self, that's you, rather than reflecting to the past for the answers. So what happens if you go to the future version of you and made the choice in the present moment, based on that future version of you, and acted in alignment to that, rather than going to the past, thinking about what that provided, and then making your choice in the present moment based on the past results? Think about that just for a moment. How much more would you do? You see, for most, they're restricted by the past and as a result will only make the choices in the present based on the experiences that they've gained as a result of living in that space of the past. However, when you shift and look into that new space, you start to notice those opportunities that support that new version and make choices that best represent that person that you want to become. I hope this makes absolute sense. You see the payoff, the results are in the future, and it's easier to look there for guidance rather than the past. Sure, the past offers learnings based on those failures, but when you know what you want and feel so strongly about it, the only place to go is to the future and work backwards to the present in order to understand what truly needs to be done. I know you'll understand what I mean here. This is one of the tools that past clients always bring up years later and one of the aspects that made the largest change in their life. Sure, this step may not massively change your life right now, but it will at least inspire further thinking over the coming weeks and the choices that you make, perhaps even over the next couple of days. In fact, now I remember how this was proven. During my last program that sold out in just a matter of minutes, I asked one of those attendees what changes they made had the biggest difference. One of the pro athletes secured a contract worth 10 times what he'd thought. Another athlete bounced back from injury and placed second in her age group. Another flew me out to Portugal after coming from a place of being a complete outsider to now standing among those he'd considered legends. The results were in fact a lot better than I thought. As a content producer, there's always the question of being able to deliver what people want, but 98% of those that signed up said that by shifting their decisions to the present moment and being more present, actually changed their dynamics and reduced a feeling of anger, resentment, fear and frustration. I think from memory it was the pebble exercise that they used the most. But think about how you could use this to make more results in your current life. If you use this and nothing else, then I guarantee that you'll get more results than you previously thought were possible for you. In fact, apply this before you think about doing anything else. Pause the video. That's right. Pause the video right now and think about how you could use this to make more results in your current situation, in your training, in your business, in your financial circumstances. If you were to go to the future version of you, perhaps 10 years from now, work backwards to the present moment and think about what actions, what choices you had to make. If you're ready to take the action needed, be more of the person that you want, then this will be a valuable proposal. Now, if I've said something right now that's resonated with you and you want to learn more, or something said here makes sense, then I want you to do something. You'll see there's a link either above or below. I want you to click on that link right now. If you are ready to take the action needed to be more of the person that you want, then it will be a valuable proposal. You'll be miles ahead of those that don't. Either way, it's okay with me. Not everyone is ready, and now might not be your time. There are always excuses that we have to deal with, and there will always be an internal nagging about why things won't work for you. But let me leave this with you, with just one thought. If you fail to take any action right now, will that choice be made on the past or the future version of you? And on that note, please join us on social media, and I look forward to working either with you directly as part of my one-to-one coaching program, or seeing that you've subscribed to our 7-day mindset series. For now, peace out and be safe.